Hey guys, hi. All right, let me check the volume, bear with me. Okay, so welcome to day 26. You guys, can I just say I'm so stinking proud of myself. I'm a recovering quitter. So the fact that I've made it to day 26, yowza. So all I can say is for day 26, y'all, I am getting ready to preach, all right? So just sit back and relax because something is working in me today with regard to today's topic. All right, so today is day 26 of, if you're following me, you'll know, it's day 26 of 100 ways to motivate yourself. And if you're aware, on Sundays I generally do a recap. And so today will be a little bit of a longer video, and all of the videos for the past 25 days are all on my Facebook or my Sherapy Life Coaching for Moms page. So on this journey, you guys, it has been a complete metamorphosis, a complete transformation for me. And I'm just so excited that you guys are along on the journey. And you can pick and choose the days that speak to you. But today's topic is powerful. Today is day 26, and it is titled, Run Toward Your Fear. I mean, I don't know about any of you. I see a few of your names on here. I know we all live with fear. And fear is just, oh, it's so crippling sometimes, isn't it? So I'm just going to dive in and share with you what I gathered from this lesson on fear. So I'm just going to start out with my notes. If I don't read my notes, I always feel like I need to do another Facebook Live because I missed something. So here's what the author has to say about running toward your fear. The best kept secret is that on the other side of your fear is something safe and to your benefit. General Patton, you might remember him, once said that fear kills more people than death does. But that death kills us once while fear kills us repeatedly. Can anybody relate to that? Death kills you once, fear kills you nearly daily. I heard somebody give a speech once where, it was Jerry Seinfeld. It just came to me. He did a talk once where he said that most people fear death so much or fear public speaking so much that they would rather be in the casket than giving the eulogy. Like, they feared public speaking. They'd rather be the one talking at the funeral than to be the one in the seriously, they would rather be the one in the casket than the one speaking at the funeral. So that's a pretty serious thing. So the worst thing that you can do in your life is to ignore your fear and to pretend that it doesn't exist. I don't know about you, but that's easy to do for me in my life. Well, it used to be. Fear and pain are simply signals. Just information. I mean, think about it, you guys. This is our bodies, our life. We are perfectly designed in God's image. Do you think that He gave us fear as an emotion to live in as a state of being? No. He gave us fear as an emotion, as a means of information. That information is just a signal, mostly not to tell us to close our eyes, but to open our eyes wider and to pay attention. To pay attention to what the emotion of fear is trying to teach you. In fact, the author himself talks about how he himself had a fear of public speaking. And he was driving down the highway once, and he was, out of state, and he was listening to the radio, and the only station that would come in was this local broadcast of a minister doing a sermon. And he felt like he needed to change the station because it just wasn't, the voice didn't resonate with him. And as he went to change the station, something inside of him said, don't, this is what you need to listen to. And in so doing, the preacher on the radio proclaimed repeatedly, run toward your fear, run toward your fear. And the author says that he couldn't stop thinking about that. And the thing he feared was public speaking. And in order to run toward public speaking, I mean, what do? You get out of your car, you run to a pulpit? No, you embrace it. You come up with a plan. You dive into it. You start to really solicit what the information of your fear is. So what he did in that case was he knew that ultimately in the back of his mind, he wanted to become a public speaker. Somebody who had the fear of speaking in front of people wanted to become a public speaker. So he enrolled himself in acting classes and got into Toastmasters and started doing all of these things that seemed so counter to the older, unwise, fearful side of him. And he kind of stepped toward that fear. So that's a really good example. He also goes on to say that if you are ever in an unmotivated mood, find something that you fear doing and conquer it. So, just a few examples, personal examples, because I think when we kind of give testimony of our own lives, we share our mess becomes our message. I have dealt with so many situations in my life that I'm just going to consolidate down to some quick stories of how I overcame fear. So, for instance, I'm 45. In the last few years, I've been unable to lose weight. But instead of just doing another diet, I decided to dive into why do most middle-aged women struggle with weight? And what I found out is that most women struggle with losing weight as they approach middle age because we don't give our bodies an opportunity to regulate the new hormone set that we're dealing with. And so one of the solutions in the book that I was reading called The Obesity Code talked about how fasting, this ancient technique helps to realign and reset the hormones for specifically women, but it does so in a way that it heals the body. And when the body is healed and you have balanced health and hormones, weight loss happens almost without effort. So I'm like, well, yeah. So I'm like, yeah, I'm totally going to fast. Then I started thinking about fasting and I thought, I don't know. I self-diagnosed as either hypo or hyperglycemic. I don't even know the difference. But, I'd get the shakes and I thought, no way can I be without food for an extended period of time. I have hypoglycemia. No way can I do that. I feared it. And so for a while, I kind of it kept me from entering into what I wanted to do. And so I just it manifested in other ways as far as me being depressed about it until I started questioning what would be wrong with my body if I just skipped breakfast? And then I started pushing it an hour and pushing, and I just slowly ran toward that fear of, I can't miss a meal. And I totally was able to start fasting. You guys, this didn't happen overnight, and I'm not yet at my goal weight, but I have made so much progress. I now fast usually between 18 and 20 hours a day. And I know that sounds crazy and that's ludicrous and that's not what this talk is about. But my point is, run toward your fear. Because at the end of the day, what is fear? In my case, with fear of fasting, fear was just a story I told myself. I thought, if something happened and I had to fast because we were, dealing with some kind of major catastrophe or whatever, I would fast. And I would function and I would do very well. So I saw this as practice. And I did very well. I still live. I haven't eaten today. And I'm still alive, you guys. So what is fear? It is just a story you're telling yourself. And I know there are some real deep-seated fears that require serious effort, serious focus on stepping out of. But you've heard of the acronym before. FEAR. FEAR stands for false expectations appearing real. What is on the other side of your fear? Let's say that your fear is, oh gosh, I can't even think of any. If anybody has an example, throw it out there to me. But, what if your fear is, like in my case, my fear, I used to have a fear of, this is going to sound so stupid, you guys, but I got to be transparent with you. I had a fear of sweating and running and doing sports because I didn't want people to see me ugly. And it kept me limited. It kept me from doing what I felt like my spirit was telling me it's okay to go do. Go run, go lift weights, go do blah, blah, blah. But I didn't want other people to see me. And other people's thoughts of how I would look was more important to me than how I felt or the outcome that I wanted. And so I started to sit with that fear. Hey, Aunt Rose. I started sitting with that fear and thinking more about, why do I care so much about what people think of me? And I was able to really do my own therapy and get myself back to why. And I feared that because as a child, I allowed somebody, I didn't allow them, I was a child. Somebody told me as a child that I was ugly. And so I spent my life collecting proof of how ugly I was. And as a result, I then tried to overcompensate by doing everything I could to never be ugly. And that's so sad, but that's, the example we're going with here. So once I realized that that was just a story I told myself, it was just a belief that I had, that I could tell myself a different story. And that story was, if I think I'm pretty, I'm the only one that matters. Harry married me. He must have thought something. So I now am at that point where I can go running. I did a 5K in a tutu. I don't care anymore because I'm free. I realized that it was a false expectation appearing real. I started to say, okay, if I fear people seeing me sweaty and looking whatever, what's going to happen? And, I started just saying, so what? If people see me that way, they're just going to think there's a girl running. They're not going to think, wow, she's a supermodel running down. No, I'm not a supermodel. I'm a mom doing a 5K in a tutu. Okay, I digress a little bit. So let me ask you this question. What you fear, what if that thing you fear is the one reason you're alive? That is the one thing that you're meant to overcome. That is the one thing that God wants you to walk toward. I mean, think about it as, let's get back to the emotion of fear. Fear is just an emotion, okay? Why do we have fear? Fear is information. It tells us when to pay attention. And the way that we were designed, we needed to know fear as information, because what if we were asleep and we heard a lion coming at us, or a stampede of elephants, or whatever? My point is, it's just information. Do not confuse fear with danger. Right now, you could be in a dangerous situation where there is a lion coming towards you. You need to get away. But right now, in our everyday life in society, there are very limited times when you are really in danger. I mean, obviously we could talk for days about danger. But what I'm saying is, what it is that you're fearing, should you be fearing it? Question it. Start to really, do your own thought management. Dive deep into this with your therapist if you're seeing a therapist, or your life coach if you have a life coach. If not, I'm a life coach. And start to just really look at what you fear. It can be incredibly paralyzing. For the longest time, I was in corporate America, and I knew that my calling in life, that God was putting it on my heart to become a life coach. And I wanted to be a life coach. But at the time, I made a lot of money in corporate America. And I wanted to leave, and I wasn't happy. And so my fear of going and following my life's mission started to manifest in drinking every night. I had to have 1 to 3 glasses of wine every night. And, I started to find that by 4 or 5 o'clock, I had a home office. I was starting to crave white wine. And I just thought, gosh, that sounds really good. I have a home office. I never did. But I started to notice, that I was treating the symptoms of my problem. And my problem was that I wanted to quit corporate America and dive into doing what I'm doing now. But I feared it because I didn't want to lose that money. And so I thought, okay, what if I lose that money? So what? And I started to see things differently. Instead of saying, what if I lose that money? And what if I lose my 401k? And what if I do this? And what if? I'll never know the what ifs if I don't take the leap. And instead of what if, I started saying, so what? If I'm meant to be a life coach and I don't become a life coach because I wanted to keep this income to uphold this status that society tells me, then I just need to keep drinking and deal with it. And that wasn't good enough for me. I said, no way, self. We're moving on up. So that's when I decided, I'm going to face this fear. And I took the leap. And, I haven't yet made Sharepie Life Coaching for Moms profitable, but I'm on my way, you guys. I faced fear and I said, so what? Instead of worrying with what if. So, just whatever your fear is, it can be something real. It can be something outside of you. You need to start questioning it. and getting alone. And if you have any questions on how to get alone with that fear or how to start questioning it, reach out to me. So many people private message me and I'm working with them. It's that easy, you guys. All right, what else did I want to tell you guys here? That was pretty much it on fear. I do have a parting quote I want to share with you. It's from the master himself, Ralph Waldo Emerson. And he says, what you are afraid to do is a clear indication of the next thing you need to do. So whatever it is that you're fearing right now, it doesn't matter how big or how small, that might just be the thing that God has put you on this earth to do. And what are you doing? Hiding from it. Just watching TV all the time, just watching everybody else live their lives and achieve their goals. So start thinking about it. Come up with a plan. You can do it. I mean, seriously. If you have the brain power to fear it, you have the brain power to do it. Okay, so that's day 26. If you've already seen 1 through 25 and you don't care about the next 2 or 3 minutes, then thank you for joining. But if you're interested in a quick recap of where I've been over this 26-day journey, then here we go. Day number 1 of the 100 ways to motivate yourself was, oh, this is good, get on your deathbed. And this is basically where, if your life is not going in the direction that you want it to start living with the end in sight. Put yourself in the position of, where do I want to be when I'm 99 and I look back at my life? What will I have accomplished the goals I wanted to accomplish? And if not, I need to get on that path. Day number 2 was stay hungry, get a vision. This was the Arnold Schwarzenegger one. I could talk for hours about how awesome this one was. But day 2 was stay hungry. Get a vision for your life, be hungry for it, and be focused on it. Day 3, tell yourself a true lie. See yourself living your best life, even if it's a lie. Just start saying, I'm incredibly productive and organized. Start telling yourself a lie and then step into it. Number 4, keep your eye on the prize. Focus on the right thing. Jimmy Johnson, this was the football analogy of how he told his team, if I put a 2x4 down and you walked across it, you would succeed because you'd be focused on the prize, being done with this stupid exercise. But if I lifted that 2x4 up 10 feet and you had to walk across it, you'd be focused on your failure instead of being focused on your goal. Number 5, learn to sweat in peace. Prepare to win or prepare to fail. That's simply that you need to do the hard work when nobody's looking. That's where all the glory is. That's what God is going to bless you guys. Sweat in peace. I know this summer my kids are going to want to do things that require me to be in a bathing suit. I'm not going to want to be in a bathing suit if I don't do something about it now. Sweat in peace. Number 6, simplify your life. How have you overthought things? How have you overcomplicated your life? Number 7, look for the lost gold. What was this one? Change the way you look at things and the things you look at change. That was a good one. Number 8, push all of your own buttons. Okay, you know what doesn't motivate you and you know what motivates you. Surround yourself by what motivates you. Number 9, build a track record. Quit quitting on yourself. And every time you don't quit, document it. It's just some psychology right there. Number 10, I am 10, right? Welcome the unexpected. Think outside of the box. Just because you have a problem doesn't mean the world has ended. Look at it, welcome it, acknowledge the fact that it has something to teach you, embrace it, come up with a plan, and move it on. Number 11, find your master key. Be a student. When the teacher is ready, the student will appear. You know what it's going to take to get you where you want to go. That's your master key. Figure it out. Start doing it. Number 12, this is a good one. Put your library on wheels. When you're commuting or you're doing something, that is an opportunity right then for you to step into your greatness. That's an opportunity for you to learn. Whether it's an Audible subscription or renting a book on CD from the library, or it is, listening to podcasts. Hello, Podcast Junkie. If you need any podcast tips or tricks, let me know. Number 13, definitely plan your work. You guys, I'm a stay-at-home mom, and I plan every day. Every day. Ask my kids. Number 14, bounce your thoughts. Oh, I like this one. The secret to change is to focus all of your energy not on fighting the old, but on building the new, by Socrates. Bounce your thoughts. That was a good one, day number 14. Number 15, light your lazy dynamite. Okay, currently I'm taking a class, and I love her philosophy on light your lazy dynamite. So basically, light your lazy dynamite means, you know, if you've lost motivation, just take one step. Just do one thing, even if it means treadmill for 5 minutes or 10 jumping jacks, whatever. She has this quote where she says, sloppy success beats perfect failure. I mean, think about that. Sloppy success beats perfect failure. It's the same as light your lazy dynamite. You don't have to wake up and accomplish all your goals. Just start, okay? Just start. Number 16, choose the happy few. Choose the happy few. This is that you are the average of the 5 people with whom you spend the most time. So if you think that you haven't amounted to much, who do you spend your most time with, and how are they influencing you to become your greatest? Number 17, learn to play a role. Channel your inner thespian. Fake it until you make it. Number 18, don't just do something, sit there. Why do people always wonder why their best ideas come in the shower? It's because that's the only time they turn the world off, and they listen to their thoughts, and they listen to God. You can't hear God if you hear everything else. You can't hear what's in your mind. You can't hear what your struggles are. You can't overcome your fears if you don't give yourself an opportunity to listen to what you're thinking. Number 19, use your brain chemicals. This one was deep and scientific. Self-motivation lies in making it fun. If you're not motivated, find a way to think outside of the box, and whatever it is, to overcome it by thinking about it as doing it fun somehow. I don't like exercise. I bought myself some roller skates. Well, Santa did. So I'm going to exercise by roller skating. Yeah, you can laugh. I don't care. I'm going to have fun. Number 20, leave high school forever. Leave the drama and what people think of you in the past. I like this quote. It says, why should the way I feel depend on the thoughts in someone else's head? Wake up and choose better. 21, learn to lose your cool. Be vulnerable. Don't try to control how you come off to other people. Remember, what other people think of you, because they're going to have thoughts, what other people think of you is not your business, okay? You're thinking something about me right now. It's none of my business. It doesn't affect me. So learn to lose your cool. Let's see. 22, kill your TV. Okay, I could talk for days. Kill your TV. What you're listening to is going to manifest in your life. So start controlling and being aware of what you're listening to. Just like what you eat, your body starts to look like. I mean, there was a time where, yeah, I looked like, you know, I ate pizza and donuts. So it's the same thing for what you're listening to, what you're watching on TV. Kill it. Use it as a tool. Don't use it as a way of life. Think about that glass on your television. Which side of it do you want to live on? Because on this side where you're watching the people on the other side of the glass live out their dreams. Let's see. Oh, I love that one, you guys. Number 23, break out of your soul cage. Seek challenges, grow. Stop being where you are because it's comfortable, okay? Comfort is meant for a nap. It is not a state of being. Number 25, find your inner Einstein. And Einstein says that imagination is far more important than knowledge. You know, obviously, knowledge is important. But to be imaginative and to realize that you came into this world confident and imaginative. You should return to that state if you're not there now. And then 26, run toward your fear. You can do it, you guys. Remember, Ralph Waldo Emerson said that what you're afraid to do is a clear indication of that next thing that you need to do. Figure it out, go do it. Have a great day.